My ex, I don't want to say that they were work wife and husband, but they were like great friends, and I never once was threatened by her, but he's now dating her.
No!
I was like, dang, like if we would have kept dating, like I wonder what would have happened, like if there would have been some tension there. Welcome back to another episode of Mean Girl Pod.
Oh, what color's that?
So today I'm double fisting. As before, I was like, how do you spell fisting? You guys were like, why? Because I'm double fisting. So I am drinking the Ultra Strawberry Dreams, which is pink, matches you.
Yeah.
And then obviously the White Monster, because I literally can't live without that one. But I like to change up the flavors. And this one's good. It tastes like a strawberry dreamsicle.
Oh my gosh, you're making my mouth salivate. I obviously do not have Monster, but the second this baby comes out, I will have my Monster. Today I have chocolate milk in a coffee mug. It's my only clean cup. So I'm very jealous of you.
Wait, are you dairy free or dairy?
Oh, it's dairy. Sorry, it's dairy free. It's just like I was
gonna
just
say,
like,
whoa.
I'm nonstop craving dairy. And what I was gonna say, by the way, is I never knew they made dairy free cottage cheese. It was the one thing I didn't think you could extract dairy from. But I love cottage cheese. And so if any of you are lactose intolerant, the Lactaid brand and the Good Culture brand have like fully removed all the dairy, so you can have that, and I'm able to process it fine. So maybe try it if it sounds good to you.
First of all, I'm not picking my nose right now. I have a piece of dry skin on my nose, and I hate that because it looks like there's a booger, but there's not.
Oh no, that's the worst.
I'm so sorry that you just found that out, because I thought you knew that, because last year cottage cheese became like really popular because it's like high protein, low calorie. So I was like, I'm gonna eat this, and I thought it was so good, and I had regular. I was in so much pain, and then I found out Lactaid is like dairy free, so I eat that. I eat like a carton of that a week. I'm obsessed.
Oh my gosh, I'm eating like a carton a day. It's just like cereal. But the Lactaid brand, so usually I don't like Lactaid because it's like soy, but it still has all the protein in it, and it's the best tasting one.
Yeah,
it's so good. Oh my gosh, it's like,
do you like Tostito chips?
Tostito chips, regular chips, tortilla chips, the Tostito tortilla chips. Yeah, I do.
So one of my favorite snacks is dipping. So you put like a little Himalayan salt and black pepper on the cottage cheese, and then you dip the Tostitos in it, and it's just like a healthier like dip alternative. It's so good.
Oh, I haven't put chips in it yet. I've been doing carrots, but it's my one veggie besides my field of greens. But I have my field of greens every day, so I'm getting all my fruits and veggies, so I'm okay.
Yeah, I don't eat fruits and veggies either. Just field of greens as well for me.
Yeah, you said you just ordered more. You were like, I just shipped it.
I'm not allowed to say if I'm in Florida right now.
Yeah, wait, where in Florida are you?
West Palm Beach. Julie's like, if you talk about Florida one more time, and Alex talks about not living in New York, I'm like, I'm sorry.
We will not bring up the weather. Jordyn's traveling. I'm at home, but that's all we have to say about that.
So West Palm Beach is one of the areas that I'm very interested in living in one day in Florida, and Pete has never seen it. So I was like, let's just go so you can see the area. And I love it here, but like it's not fair to him to not see it. So we're there right now, and it's just beautiful.
I love West Palm. And
I know, isn't it so nice?
It's so nice because you can get to Miami like so quickly. So you're really, but yet you're out. I think a lot of people live in West Palm that like work in Miami.
Yeah, because they have an express train, I think, that gets you there in like 45 minutes or something.
Oh, but wouldn't you love to have a car out there too?
Oh, heck yeah. We rented a car actually, and I'm like, let's go driving every second of the day.
Yes, because I love driving when the weather's pretty.
Right? And it's just like blue skies and palm trees, and like everything is very bougie and pretty in West Palm. So it's just a sight. It's just a beautiful sight.
Are you watching Palm Royale?
No, is that based in West Palm Beach?
Yeah, it's the old like old money. I don't think it's based on a culture, of course, of Palm Beach, but not like they're not real characters, I doubt. But it's definitely like the shoe fits. I mean, it's the clothes they wear. It's the country club. It's the whole shebang.
Are they on Palm Beach, that area where like the breakers are and stuff?
Well, so I guess that they never show the breakers in the show, but I believe that I kind of in my head they're at the Trump place. That's like that's the country club on the south side of that West Palm Strip.
Okay, yeah, it's a really cool place. But yeah, I've been enjoying it. That's all I'll say about Florida.
Okay. Okay, that's all. Like, we can't talk about the weather. Or locations.
I don't want to get in trouble. I was literally about to be like, the weather's so nice, but we won't talk about the weather.
We can talk about the Tom Brady roast. They would let us talk about the weather. They'd let us talk about anything.
Yeah, did you watch it?
It was on beside me, but I was fading in and out.
So I didn't realize this is like Netflix's first live streaming of anything they've ever done, which is very ballsy for a roast.
Very ballsy.
But yeah, I thought it was good. I fast forwarded through a few of the comedians just because it was so repetitive. But do you know who Nikki Glaser is?
Killed it.
She was so good.
She was. She to me is the takeaway of the roast.
Which I love because, not to be like women, men, blah, 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 but they only had 2 females roast Tom, and everyone else were men. And everyone, like including Kevin Hart and Howard Stern and all these people, are like, Nikki Glaser killed it.
She won. When Kevin stood up, like during her talking, I was like, that's the biggest stamp of approval ever. Let's talk about Athena Club. Jordyn was on it first, you guys, and she was like, use the razor. My skin is so smooth. And then I tried it, and she was so right. I don't know what we're doing going to Walgreens or CVS and buying those cheapo depots, because guess what? Athena Club is the best razor ever, and it's only $10. So it's worth it.
I also use their body scrub, their shaving cream, and their body lotion now. And whenever I use their body lotion, Pete always is like, you smell so good. What perfume do you have on? I'm like, nothing. It's just their lotion.
Wow. That's incredible. And you probably feel so clean.
I do.
And you guys, it's because the razor has hyaluronic acid in it. And so it's like you're literally shaving butter onto your body. And it is the best feeling on the planet. It's worth every penny, and it's really not even that many pennies. And you get a magnetic hook, which I am obsessed with, because it's just like that razor always falls all over the shower, and if you have a place to hook it, then it's the best ever. So say goodbye to that old blade on your razor with all the goopy after a few uses, and say hello to Athena Club. Get ready to upgrade your shaving experience. Switch to the best razor on the market and show your skin you care with Athena Club. Head over to athenaclub.com to try their award-winning razor and body products and get 20% off with your purchase with code MEANGIRL at checkout. You can also find Athena Club razors at your local Target store. Trust me, you will not look back. Happy shaving. That's code MEANGIRL for 20% off. Code MEANGIRL at athenaclub.com.
I never realized how well you have to be at public speaking and performing. Like, I don't think comedians get enough credit.
No, and her delivery was like, she literally, if I didn't have pregnancy brain, the layers of the joke. There was one where I was like, she went there. And then the next one I was like, oh my God, now we're there. Oh, it was the Gronk Bitcoin one. Was so funny, and it's like, me, no, that's not good. And then she's like, or that was FTX. And then the next one, she like doubled down on it and was like, he does Bitcoin, where he just literally nibbles on the coins. I was like, oh my God, like it was so. I loved that he let every joke go except for that one where of course he babies Belichick. But I love that they did it live, because I feel like I kind of think this is just gonna be an episode of me blanking on people. The guy that just hosted Saturday Night Live and he went back, the comedian, the huge one, Andrew Schultz. No, yes,
oh yeah,
he
or
is it Andrew Schultz?
Wait, the one that made that inappropriate joke?
Yes.
No, it was Rob. What's his face?
Shane. Thank you, Shane.
No.
Shane. Yes, Shane's who I'm thinking of.
Oh, sorry. I thought you meant that did the Tom Brady roast.
Oh, no. The SNL. So Shane, I loved, because I feel like he put comedy back on the trajectory that everyone wanted. But then if they were to do this roast and edit it, which I know now on YouTube they have edited out a couple parts, which is okay. We love you, Kim K. That's all right. But I love that they let it go live, because a lot of these jokes aren't PC. I mean, they threw PC out the window and they let it go. And it's like, I think the pendulum's swinging back on what people want to hear and make fun of and things. So I love that they did it live. I loved it. I wouldn't have watched it if it wasn't.
Well, same, because I feel like the reason why we love comedy, it's because it's like that one space where people can be truly inappropriate, and comedy can't be PC. it wouldn't be comedy then.
No, it's too filtered. And so the fact that they just let it go, and the fact that Tom, who is kind of that untouchable good guy, right? Like there's not that many scandals about him. And if they are, he never comments on them. So for him to say, all right, I'll sit there for 3 hours and do this, and we don't have to edit it, I thought was like what everyone needed.
Yeah, I thought he was a good sport. The only thing is that when he did the roast to everyone else, I felt like I could see this look in his eyes where he just enjoyed it too much, because he's like, he's in his head, he's like, my whole life I've had to be this perfect, like, well-spoken PC human, and now I can just let it unleash and destroy people. And I was like, Tom, I can feel your anger coming out, and I kind of love it, but it's scary at the same time.
He also doesn't have like the delivery. So it's like,
no,
I feel so comfortable when like when Kevin Hart or Nikki is up there, I'm like, we're in good hands. He's not going to mess us up. I'm for sure going to laugh, and they're just going to drive it home, and then he's kind of up there. And you're just like, I loved it. I loved seeing that side of him. I thought it was funny that Giselle was like, love you, Giselle, but she cannot let go of this narrative that man loves football more than her, and how she was like, of course he'll go to Belichick's rescue, but yet again, he won't go to mine, and my family's only furthering that he still puts football above his family. It's just like,
I'm sorry.
You lost Giselle on this roast.
Also, don't marry the best professional quarterback in the world. Like that. Like, he's going to put football first. Sorry.
And he's one that's like notoriously put it first.
Yeah.
And so it's like that's not all that you kind of have to roll with those punches.
I didn't realize, like, not to get too into sports, but I didn't realize in his first draft he was picked like 150th or whatever.
198 underdog. It's like my favorite story of all time.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Which makes me respect him so much more. I'm like, dang, that is so cool.
He's why, like, he's not why, but a lot of people when they are drafted first, right? A lot of times, like those really good ones in college, this isn't like a rule, but they're not always as good in the NFL. And then you have those underdogs that are like a Tom. 198's obviously, I think it's 198, and it is like really low, and then they come back and they go on this like trajectory, and those are my favorite.
Yeah, no, it was cool. I loved that they brought the roast back. I hope they keep doing that. But you have to be a special kind of person. Like, you have to have the perfect amount of controversy / being loved by the world to be a good candidate for the roast, I feel like.
And I think like not too much controversy, but that sense of like untouchable. Like, I think Drake can no longer do it, right? Like, he's gotten too much into it. But who I actually think would be a great candidate for a roast is Kim K.
Okay, did you say they cut something on YouTube from her joke?
They've cut her segment. It's been like politely edited out. I think there was some like what we saw. There was sort of like some booing and things.
Which is so, to me, distasteful to be booing someone who's roasting. Like, you can boo the person being roasted, but like, she was invited to roast Tom. We all know why she was invited. I think when you're not a comedian and you go up to roast someone like that, takes a lot of balls and talent. So it's like, just be kind and like let her do her set and sit down.
I will give it to her. Did you hear her response when they said, or I don't know where it was. I read it in an article, but they were like, did you and Tom ever date? And she was like, I would never say if we did or didn't. I would just release the tapes. And I thought, she's pretty funny. Why are we booing her? It's pretty funny.
Well, do you know why? Like, did she ask YouTube to remove it?
The article didn't say. It just said she was booed. That part has been edited out, so I don't know.
That's weird. I also like don't understand why people are booing her. It's like,
oh, come on. It was all fun and games. That was so not needed.
Also, it's like, you guys are all famous. Like, you guys aren't just like normal human beings like us. Like, you're famous people. You can't be booing her. I don't know. I feel like that's just so rude. Like, you're at a roast for a reason. You know why you're there.
Yeah, I know. I thought I agree with you. I thought that was really odd. I actually wanted them to let her go and do her thing. Because here's what we don't want. We don't want the Kardashians to stop going to stuff like that. It's cool for everyone to have them like as a part of it, because they're kind of this methodical creature, and so it's like that doesn't make any sense.
Also, too, it's like whatever Kim does, she slays at. Like, she gives it her all, and we should respect that, because she could be that person who goes up there and just like fails, but just keeps getting invited because she's a Kardashian. But she gets invited places, and she like killed Saturday Night Live. She kills her acting. She kills roasting Tom Brady. Just let her keep killing it.
Yeah, and she goes. Like, I think that's really cool that she goes.
Yeah, so whatever. But that was fun. That was like a fun little surprise, because I didn't know that the roast was coming up, and then all of a sudden I looked on Netflix and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna watch this.
Yeah, it was so good. So what's your Drake? Yeah. Yeah, that's what I want. I need you to tell me about this.
You read my mind. I was gonna ask you if you knew about the Drake and Kendrick beef.
Quick pause to talk about ZocDoc, because there is nothing more important than your health. But you guys, it can be really hard and daunting to find a doctor, especially a good doctor. ZocDoc is a free app and website where you can search and compare highly rated in-network doctors near you and instantly book appointments with them online. Once you find the doctor you want, all you have to do is immediately, no awkward waiting, just be on hold. You don't have to do any of that. All you have to do is just literally book the appointment on the website. And all these doctors are vetted. So when I first moved to New York, I was like, I needed a dermatologist. I did not know where to go. So I got on ZocDoc. Boom, the next day I was at the dermatologist, and I still go to the same doctor today. So go to ZocDoc.com/meangirl and download the ZocDoc app for free. Then find and book a top-rated doctor today. That's ZocDoc.com/meangirl. ZocDoc.com/meangirl. There's nothing more important than your health. So you guys get on ZocDoc today. It's free, it's convenient, and you will not regret it. I mean, I listened to the song and I talked slightly about it with Brittany Schmidt, who did like a story on it, and then I did read about. I know enough, but you probably should tell me. I don't know a whole lot.
Yeah, so I'm not like massively in the rappers world, but because I have a boyfriend who loves rap, I hear a lot about it. So long story short, like, J. Cole came out and was like, the big three are me, Kendrick, and Drake. And then I believe Kendrick was like, Drake is not in the big three. And then J. Cole realized he didn't want to be part of this beef, so he like stepped aside. He like came out with like a 7-minute song apologizing. Very odd. But then the two, Kendrick and Drake, have been going back and forth. And it's interesting because people see Kendrick as like the best rapper based off of his like intelligence and his lyrics and like how insightful his rapping is. Like, it's so smart. But Drake has like the look and like the glamour and the stage presence of why he's such a good rapper. So they're beefing over that, like who's better essentially, and like all of these allegations are coming out. So Kendrick is saying that Drake has a BBL, that he has a ghostwriter, that he is a pedophile. And Drake is coming back and saying like Kendrick is short and that he cheats and beats his wife. So now the rap battle is getting super intense because these allegations that started as like you're short and have a BBL are now like you're a pedophile and you're a wife beater. So it's getting a little insane, and it's been going on since March now. Before it was like months apart, the song, or not months, weeks apart, the raps would come out. And now it's like days, hours. And I don't know what the latest update is. I don't think anything has really happened because Drake's bodyguard actually was shot the other day. They allegedly are thinking that it could have to do with the beef between him and Kendrick. And I don't think anything else has been released, but it's just like a very intense rap battle.
That would be so modern day Tupac and Biggie if Kendrick had something to do with it.
That's what Pete said.
Yeah, that would be insane because we viewed the Tupac and Biggie thing as like, that doesn't seem like something that would ever actually happen. Right? But then it's like, if we just lived it, I wouldn't know what to do with that. I like it better being a historical thing, not like a holy shit now.
Yeah, and it's just getting, it's scary because what started as like Drake having a BBL, like Kendrick being short, like that's
funny.
That's no harm. It's funny. And now it's just getting intense, and there was his bodyguard got shot at, and it's just like now people are like, we don't want anything to do with this because it's getting so serious.
No, because I think what Tupac and Biggie showed was like people can end up dead.
Yeah.
So like we don't want to mess with that. But wow, that's crazy. The one thing about the Drake articles that I read where like all the allegations about him with, well, there's the part where he always goes after his friend's exes like the week after, which that's not illegal. Okay, fine. But him going after the younger girls, that's crazy.
Yeah. So I don't know where it's left off or what will come of it once this episode is released, but it's just wild that it's been going on since like the end of March.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know what's going to happen, but it's intense. Also, it's really teaching me a lot about Drake and Kendrick, and I didn't know that Kendrick has won Pulitzer Prizes, so that's pretty cool.
Kendrick Lamar is, listen, I'm the first to say that Eminem and Lil Wayne are the original geniuses of the rap world, but Kendrick is brilliant, I think, like a lyrical genius, and does not have a ghostwriter. But I think my favorites, I love Eminem, who's now sober and like doing NFL commercials. Like, I like stories like that. Not when the rappers start to battle about, abusing each other's wives and think. I'm like, well, why did we have to go that way?
Yeah, no, I love Eminem. I still am, but like I'm like an old Eminem fan. Like back in his glory days, I thought he was just so good.
I know, and everyone on the NFL commercials, no, it was the draft commercials that he was doing with Robert Kraft, maybe? I don't remember. And I was thinking, everyone was commenting on it, like, drop the album. And I was like, it's okay if he doesn't. He's good. He really had his time. And now if he wants to be this, like, kind of Shaq effect, where he's like a newscaster, but like kind of a public figure, I'm so in on that. Like, I like that side of these people that we get to see later. I love when they take their career and like do more with it.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's so interesting too, because like with this rap battle, this is one of the things that hits like every demographic, like kids all ages. Like there was this teacher on TikTok where it was like, I'm a high school teacher and I've never seen my kids more invested in anything in my entire life. Like they are reading these lyrics and this or that, and you see like older people who are invested in, like us. Like I truly have not listened to a lot of Drake or Kendrick Lamar. Now I'm like fascinated by both of them. So this is just like a crazy, one of those pop culture moments that like affects everyone.
I could see Drake and Kendrick have planted this. On one theory, I'm like, maybe Drake and Kendrick planted it. On the other, I want to be like, boys, you guys should have to settle it live in a real rap battle where you have to respond to each other, and then we'll see who's the lyrical genius and who has a ghostwriter or not, and who prepared their whole life for that.
I know. And it's also fascinating too, because I think when it comes to famous people, there is a fine line of like the people who are famous because they are truly insanely talented, and then the people who are famous because they have like this it factor that people are just like obsessed with the image. And I think Drake is very talented, but he definitely like gained his fame because of like that it factor, and Kendrick is like the truly so unbelievably talented. But I think about that a lot with people who are famous, and it's very interesting, like the two ways you can be famous, and how unfortunately like the truly talented people don't always have like that limelight, like A-list factor, because like sometimes that factor is just more enticing to the public than like the true talent, which sucks, but it's just the name of the game.
Yeah, it does suck, but it does go to like, okay, so the other thing I have on the list is like, did you watch the Kardashian season 5 trailer?
No, I didn't even know it was released.
Yeah, so it's out, and it takes everything in me to watch a Kardashians trailer. I mean, you really have to get me interested in it. And I kept seeing that people were not teasing, but saying, Kris says she has a tumor. And what I found fascinating about that was, I've often thought about the Kardashians in the Kobe effect, right? When the helicopter crashed, you think he's untouchable, like he can't die. I didn't realize that was possible, and it's this like very human moment. And I have that with her, like where I think I don't ever, if it came in the news today that Kim K died in a car wreck, we would just be shocked, right? And it's like that could literally happen at any time. And I've always thought about what would happen if God forbid, one of them, gets sick or something. And who knows, hopefully these tumors are nothing. But I watched it and I thought, wow, like that's such a crazy raw moment.
Like, not to be dramatic, but my jaw would be more on the floor if the Kardashians, one of them passed away, versus like our president.
Wow.
But you know what I mean? Like
he could croak.
I would be
anytime.
like, but I think the more of the world would be like,
totally. No
Kardashian.
question. Like they can't die, but they can, but they can't.
They are our stream of entertainment.
And it's like doctors can't fix that, but it's like that's the one thing. Death and taxes, I guess, but like it's when these people get cancer. Who's the I'm never gonna get
Christina
her
Applegate.
name. Yes. And I'm just
Dude, I can
like,
read your mind.
you know, I was like, all I had was a fruit. I was like, all I can give you as a fruit is my hint here. And like, I read it and I can't remember anything. But her, like, I just was like, oh, you know, like Jennifer Aniston, too. Like, if something happened to her, I would just be like, no. But I think our parents have experienced that when people that they idolize, like, get sick and die.
It's funny you say Christina Applegate because I don't know, I think I like saw an article on the computer about her, and I thought that I was like, it's so crazy when famous people get sick because in your mind you think like they're invincible, untouchable. There's no way that someone with that amount of money and fame can get so sick where her whole life is turned upside down. And I was thinking about that. I'm like, it's crazy how we just think of these people as like untouchables.
Yeah, and I have a friend whose parent is very sick, right? And and I think to myself sometimes, isn't there more like, what would they do if it was Kim K? Like, you get so angry about it, and then you realize like these doctors do everything they can for every single human, like really they do, and two, like there is no amount of money and power that can cure sickness, like there's the amount of money and power that can get you that floor seat at that sporting event, but not when it comes to sickness. And it's just this very like, we all have to face it time, and that's when you realize like we really are all equal.
Yeah, no, it is crazy and sad. Before this gets too sad, do you want to do our listener question about the job?
This listener question is presented by Field of Greens. Have you heard of cancer-fighting foods? The American Cancer Society discovered diets rich in fruits and veggies may actually lower your risk of cancer. Hopefully you hear that and you run to the store for 5 servings of fruits and vegetables every day. But if not, you should consider taking Field of Greens into your daily health regimen. Jordyn and I have you guys because guess what? If you're always on the go and you want to be healthy, you want to implement your daily fruits and vegetables into your diet, but you're just like, listen, realistically, I'm not going to get it done. Field of Greens is the perfect fit for you. Each fruit and veggie in Field of Greens was doctor selected for studied health benefits. There's a heart health group, lungs, kidneys, and metabolism group, even heavy weight, that your body needs a scoop of this delicious Field of Greens to manage. Will Field of Greens prevent, treat, or cure cancer? Nope, but it's so powerful that they promise at your next doctor checkup, your doctor will notice your improved health or your money back. And you guys, it really does work. Your skin will glow, your bowels will be moving. It's the best. And you need your daily servings of fruits and veggies no matter what. So this is a really easy way to get it. It's a one-stop shop. So we've got you 15% off and free rush shipping. Visit fieldofgreens.com and use promo code MEANGIRL for your discount. That's promo code MEANGIRL at fieldofgreens.com, fieldofgreens.com. Let's get into the listener question.
So we're doing a listener question a little earlier on because this listener question is going to stem a topic that I feel like a lot of people can relate to and always want us to talk about, but for some reason we never really did. We briefly talked about it when Alana was our producer because her and Mike they are still dating, but they started dating in the workplace, and I think we just were like, oh, well, we touched on it, but now we have a listener question. We do get a lot of people asking about workplace relationships, so we're going to talk about it.
Okay, hi, ladies. I wanted to know your thoughts on being magnetically attracted to someone. At work lately, I found myself not being able to stay away from a male coworker. I talk to him every chance I get ever since I've started working with him 3 years ago. We're basically best friends, and there's definitely some sexual tension, but I'm not sure if this is superficial or the universe trying to tell me something. Do you think magnetic attraction is a red flag? I thought this would be an interesting topic.
I wonder if it goes both ways, like if they're both magnetically attracted to each other, or if, like, is he interested in her?
Well, and what if like we each gave an inch, like you gave him a little? Like, I wonder if you just talk at work or do you text outside, right? Because if like one of you texted and then the other kept texting, like I feel like you would know. There's like little ways to bait.
Yeah, workplace relationships are so controversial in my mind because part of me is like, there's a study that actually is out that says work is the number 3 most common place to meet your partner. It's like high school, college, and then work, and then dating apps. So it's like, yeah, you use that as a kind of like, I remember every time I started a new job, I was like, will there be any cute boys? But I've also had 2 workplace relationships, and they destroy your life. Like, it makes it so uncomfortable. It's like dating someone in high school. Like, you have to go in and see them every single day, and you have to put your big girl pants on, and you cannot start any drama, because most of the time the world that you work in doesn't know you ever had a relationship.
Right. So I think like, if you both listen, I don't think be reckless about it. I think if it's been 3 years and you're still thinking about it, there's a chance you really do like him. And I bet he feels it too, and no one wants to go first. So I think if you guys like have a really open conversation about it, should you get to that point where like it is flirty for real, and then you're just like, okay, wait, we don't want to destroy our jobs. Like, how do we manage this in a good way? I feel like that could work.
Yeah, and you could also, I don't know, like if there's different departments, but schedule a happy hour and invite him and others, and then see if there's any chemistry outside of the office. And if there is, like, stay a little later at that happy hour, sit next to him and start some small talk. Get to know him on an out of office area, because him at work could be very different from him out of work.
That's such a good point. And the other thing I would say is, like, before, like, if you do that and you invite him to the happy hour and then you give him like a little, just like a push, and then he takes it and he's like, yes, and he gives you something back, like, do that to make sure before you make it really awkward and ruin that friendship at work. You know, like, be sure. But if it's there, it's probably there. I mean, 3 years is a long time.
Yeah, like, work is a safe space, and when you start dating someone at work, it can be so fun, but as soon as it goes south, it can truly hurt you so much, because you have to go in and see that person. So for her, yes, like, after 3 years, just like, give it a shot. Like, you got to figure it out. But like, if you are someone listening and you do have a crush with someone at work, I would try to date someone in a fully different department than yours, so you don't necessarily have to see them every single day.
Yeah, and know if it goes south, like, just ask yourself, is it worth risking the friendship? And if it is,
and the job, because sometimes the breakup could be so bad where you need to leave that job because it's just too hard to see that person every single day.
Totally. Very true. Just
like, yeah. They always say, don't eat where you shit, or don't shit where you eat. I can't remember which way it is. Yeah. But like, I just, like, I've had 2 workplace relationships and they both ended badly, and like, it just, I don't look back at those and think it was worth it to either or. But then I hear like awesome stories like Alana, where I'm like, I'm so glad you guys went for it, because now you're still dating and you probably will get married one day and live your whole lives together. And I hear other people's stories too. So it's so hard. Like, sometimes you just have to experience it yourself and get burned to like learn that lesson.
Yeah, and there's no rule book, right? Because I think of so many people in high school who would say, oh my God, I'm going to marry them. And my parents would be like, let me tell you what, they're not going to get married. But then, like, I do also think of 3 really cute couples who are literal high school sweethearts and will live together forever. So it's just like, I don't know, if you're betting, good luck.
The workplace is so weird, because like, a lot of people also talk about like work wives and work husbands. Have you ever had, like, I know your interior design job was females, but have you ever had like a work husband or worked with males that you were super close with?
Yeah, well, yeah. So I did have like a mentor. My second job in Orange County, he was like a dad. Like, I would babysit his kids. I like would go eat like lunch with his wife. Yeah, and I like loved him, but like it was a startup, so it was like a constant grind. And yeah, but I wouldn't say he was like husband feels like the wrong word. But you mean somebody I worked really closely with that was the opposite sex?
Yeah, because like when I worked in sales, the sales team was so close, and I always remember like they would joke around being like, "That's my work wife, that's my work husband," or like. A lot of the times, like, the females were the account managers and the men were the salesmen, and like they were like attached at the hip because they had to be. And I always was like, if my husband has a work wife like this who is attractive and they talk 24/7, I don't think I would be okay with it.
Oh, I'm like, and my nanny will be bald.
And I will have an 8-year-old woman as my nanny.
He's either gay or above 70. No, I do get that. And like, but then it's also the odds that they have like a phenomenal working relationship. Like, I don't know, does Pete have a work wife?
So Pete doesn't. Well, okay, so Pete has like very good female coworkers, but they're all either married, engaged, or like their boyfriend actually works at the company with them and he's friends with them. There's no like single girls that he works close with, which I'm so grateful for. And thankfully he works in a male dominated field. But my ex, I don't want to say that they were work wife and husband, but they were like great friends. And I never once was threatened by her. And like, I know for a fact, like nothing ever happened, but he's now dating her.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Isn't that the damnedest thing?
Like they would hang out and I was like, yeah, whatever. Like I trusted you so much. Like I trusted him and they were like truly just friends. Like I'm not accusing him of anything. But then I found out like 6 months after we broke up that they started dating. Now they're engaged actually. So I'm so happy for them. But I was like, dang, like that was a situation where if we would have kept dating, like I wonder what would have happened. Like if there would have been some tension there.
Do you ever feel like when there's okay, so like if you and Pete, you're not going to break up. I don't even like the example. But if you and Pete broke up and then Pete starts dating one of your friends, like, I don't know, even 6 months later, do you ask yourself, like, did they ever have that thought while we were dating? Or do you think it's possible that they never had that thought? Or they absolutely had that thought while you were dating?
Oh, I for sure would have that thought of like, did they have that thought while we were dating? Because I used to like to make myself feel a little better because I broke up with my ex. In my head, I used to be like, well, maybe they were like fooling around behind my back, or like, did she have a massive crush on him? Because I don't think he ever had eyes for other girls. I think he truly like liked her as a friend. But in my head, I was like, did she have eyes for him? Because I'm sure she did.
Yeah, you never know. And you never would have wondered unless they start dating. And then you're like, well, okay. I mean, was the whole thing a lie?
I remember in high school, my ex started dating one of my friends, but I didn't really care because like this was like my freshman boyfriend and I then was dating someone my senior year. And then I remember he started dating one of my friends and I was like, did she have a crush on him when we would all hang out? Because whatever, I'm moved on now, but I'm like, how did this happen? And then I remember her hearing things like she used to think he was like cute and stuff. And I was like, I'm sorry, what? You had a boyfriend when I was dating him too. So what is going on?
You know, I always think, because there's never been anybody in my life that I knew. You know those stories where people say, we were friends for 5 years and then we started dating? No. Because when I became single, I didn't think, oh, there's somebody in my network that I know that I would date. Like, I don't know them. Because I don't want to be friends with them if I think, oh, I would date. Like, no.
Well, remember we've talked about this so many times on the podcast where it's like, I don't have any close guy friends because if I did, I would just date them. Because to me, if you like a person that much, you start to get an attraction for them and you start to date them. So yeah, there's no such thing where I'm like, oh, we were just like friends for 5 years, never thought anything of it. And then one day the sun striked his face in the right way and the stars aligned and we just fell in love. Like that's a no for me.
Let me tell you what didn't happen is that.
Yeah.
I'm like, you thought it at some point. Otherwise, no. Because I would never be like, oh my God, he texted. If anybody I had in my phone book was like, do you want to go on a date back in the day? I'd be like, no.
Ew, no. Same.
No. Yeah, like what? And so you can't tell me that these people just randomly decided. The whole time I never thought about it, but I was attracted to him. Like, really?
Like, no.
It's crazy.
In high school, yeah, because we were crazy little hormonal teens. But now I'm like, there's not one guy I think, like when I was single where I was like, if he reached out, I would even want to hook up with him. Like, no.
Right. No. Ugh, yeah.
Like,
no, totally.
I remember one of my friends, she hooked up with a guy in her friend group. And it was like the craziest thing because she was like, ew, I would never date him. And I was like, there is not one guy that, like, if they came to visit me, I would ever want to hook up with.
No, I like hate this conversation. I'm like, ugh.
I'm very grateful that Pete works in a more male-dominated field and all his girlfriends are in relationships, married or engaged. Because, yeah, I would have a hard time with that because when you work in the office 40 hours a week with these people, like, not only do you build these like relationships that like your partner can't really relate to, but you also like just start sharing everything with that person. And like sometimes they know more about what's going on in your husband's life than you do because you just spend so much more time with them.
Totally. And you know what I think too? I think you could sense it out in a second. Like if I met a girl and I'd be like, oh. And I think the golden rule has to be like, thank goodness you and I aren't in this scenario or vice versa. But if we were like, hey, Pete, hey, Harrison, she's giving me bad vibes. Like that would have to, for them to say, no, she's not would really be a problem. Like they almost have to make like a change.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I just feel like I hear so many, mainly like when I worked in sales, I just saw so many situations where I was like, excuse me. And when I would go to like sales conferences, you just like heard stories about people like cheating and you're like, oh no, they always hook up at the sales conference. And you're like, oh, why don't they date? Oh, they're both married. Okay, cool.
Oh, see, yeah, that's just like, that's a culture thing.
Yeah. I mean, you're so right. It was a culture thing. I worked in corporate insurance with a lot of older people. Like I was 22 at the time. And like the majority of my coworkers were like 35, 40 to 60 years old. But yeah, it just like made me always think like me and my like other friends that were my age were like, I don't think I could ever have a spouse in this industry because everyone's just so untrustworthy.
Yeah, and I think better to have separation of church and state, right? Like I would want them to be in a different industry.
On that note, cheers to not having our boyfriends having work wives. I'm just kidding. Everyone listening is like, I hate you guys because now I have to go talk to Bob about Tina in sales.
Yeah, everyone's like, well, I have that.
But yeah, keep sending listener questions. We've gotten some really good listener questions lately, so keep sending them. And we love you guys.
Yeah, I love you guys.
Cheers.
Cheers. I wish.
Bye.
Okay, that's it for today's episode. As always, thank you for listening to Mean Girl Pod, powered by Just Media House. I'm Alex Bennett.
And I'm Jordyn Woodruff. So, AB, do what you do best.
If you enjoyed the show, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, rate, and review. We are at Mean Girl Pod on all platforms. Stay connected with us on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, and Snapchat at Mean Girl Pod. Podcast and social artwork and post-production by Creative Evolution Studios. Theme song to the Mean Girl Pod performed by Sergi Asbel. Mean Girl Pod, we're your besties in your ear. New episodes every Monday.